was like, well, I don't know. For right now, I feel like monogamy is fine because I'm not really interested in getting to know anyone else. And I don't even have capacity to like explore in other places. I'm pretty saturated already. And so we're like, yeah, cool. Well, let's just start there. Cause like, we don't freaking know. It's like our first week of dating, you know, like it's a starting place, conscious agreement. So there's no plot twists or like, surprise, I have a lover in the closet or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. Or like, oh no, I'm crushing on someone else. What do I do? There's this expectation of like, no, we're just focusing on each other right now. Well, let's check in 6 months from now and see where we're at. We check in and it's like, yeah, this still feels good to me. Okay, cool. Let's check in another 6 months. And then we checked in another 6 months. Yeah, monogamy still feels good to me. Cool. But that's what makes it really like radically different from what I would call unconscious monogamy, where it's actually just this assumption that you're going to be monogamous. And if anything deviates from that, then it's like, what the hell is going on? Versus consciously making an agreement of like, yeah, let's be monogamous and let's keep checking in about it. Because for some people, like 20 years down the line, they might realize, you know what, I have only had limited experiences sexually, or I'm exploring my sexuality. I might want to explore something with the same sex. And I think I do want to have an open relationship, you know, and you just kind of like wake up to it. And that conversation can actually be addressed way early on when you create this cultural norm of checking in about it. Let's actually not make assumptions. Let's not assume we're defaulting to society's default. Even if that's actually what you're doing, it's like, yeah, it's a monogamous relationship. But when you're consciously monogamous, you're having these conscious checkpoints to agree to that over and over again. You can get way ahead of that. Let's say 20 years down the line, you have a few kids together, you share a mortgage, and one of the partners is like, I don't want to open this thing up. You want to open this up? And then it creates a huge turning point where you're like, okay, if I want to continue in this relationship, do I sacrifice something? Do I compromise? But you can actually get way ahead of this. Even if you have no intention of ever being non-monogamous, which I'm sure that person 20 years prior to that probably had no intention of it at all. But when you proactively create the space to check in and ask, like, what are we doing here? What's the format that we're doing here? It gives you the option to ask from a place of curiosity, like, would I be interested in something else? And even if your interest is 10%, out of 100. If you can name that out loud and your partner is totally transparent with where you're at, that's going to help you bond and facilitate trust, regardless if you ever open up or not, because you're both there in the same process. There's no surprises. If there is a 10% curiosity, well, it's like, well, let's keep checking in with it. Let's see if it grows to 20, 25, 30, you know, and it's like you can slowly work with it and really collaborate through it. So it's not this relationship that you're structurally locked into and you can't really easily get out of. And you're like, oh my God, we have this huge misalignment. What do we do? There's a way to actually very proactively approach these things and stay on the same team and be more resilient through it. And it's through having these very conscious relationship agreements.